Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video I will explain how to work with lines parallel to the Cartesian axis. Here's a summary of today's exercise. First, we will show how to write the equation of a line that is parallel to a Cartesian axis and passes through a point P in space. Then we will build on these concepts with some geometry on the Cartesian plane. In particular, we will find the area and perimeter of a rectangle defined by four lines parallel to the Cartesian axis. Here you can see the equations of lines R and S. The goal of the exercise is to find the point of intersection P and write the equation of the line parallel to the x-axis and passing through P. We can find the intersection point using substitution. One way to do this is by creating a system of equations and substituting the y variable from R into S. So let's do it. Y is equal to 1 minus 2x, and here we can substitute into S minus 1 plus 2x equals 0. Y is 1 minus 2x, and here we get minus x plus 1 equals 0, which means x equals 1 and y equals minus 1. So at this point we have found the coordinates of point P, 1, minus 1. Now we can get rid of this part here, since we need some space to continue. Now we draw the Cartesian axis x and y along with point P. One minus 1. Next, we want to find the equation of the line parallel to the x-axis and that passes through P. So we want to find the equation of this blue line. Now, if you think the x-axis is the set of all points on the plane where the y-coordinate is 0, and therefore its equation is y equals 0, which is satisfied by all points P, x, 0. Similarly, the y-axis consists of all points where the x-coordinate is 0, and it is represented by the equation x equals 0, which holds true for all points q, 0, y. Now let's consider a point A, 0q on the y-axis. If we draw a line parallel to the x-axis and passing through A, like this line will include all points on the plane where the y-coordinate equals q. Therefore, its equation is y equals q, which is satisfied by all points P, x, q. Similarly, consider a point B, h0 on the x-axis. If we draw a line parallel to the y-axis and passing through B, this line will include all points where x equals h, which is satisfied by all points q, h, y. So, in summary, a line parallel to the x-axis has equation y equals q. while a line parallel to the y-axis has equation x equals h. Now, returning to our exercise, since our line must pass through the point 1 minus 1, the equation of the required line is y equals minus 1, or y plus 1 equals 0. Now let's move on to the second exercise. This time we'll find the equation of a line parallel to the y-axis and passing through a point P, which is again the intersection of two lines R and S. Here we can see the equations of the two lines. And to find the coordinates of point P, we solve the system of equations by substituting y from R into S, as we did before. So, from the first equation, we find that y equals x squared minus 4. And by substituting it in the second equation, we find this. So this is x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. This time we end up with the quadratic equation. If you remember, the quadratic equation formula is the following. If you have an equation like this, the quadratic equation formula is this. So if we apply it in our case, we find that x equals plus 4 plus minus b squared is 16 minus 16 divided by 2. So we have a single solution in this case, which is 2. So this way we found that our intersection point has coordinates 2 and 0. Now we draw the Cartesian axis x and y along with the P point, which is here, 2, 0. Next, we want to find the equation of the line parallel to the y-axis, and that passes through P. So we want to find the equation of this line, basically. So we know that the y-axis has equation x equals 0, and a line parallel to the y-axis has the equation x equals constant. Since our line must pass through the point P2, 0, the equation of the required line is x equals 2, or x minus 2 equals 0. Now let's move on to the last exercise for today. In this case, we have 4 lines, S, R, T, and Q. Our goal is to find the area and perimeter of the rectangle defined by these 4 lines. We can rewrite all of them in a more convenient form, such as x equals 1, x equals 5, y equals 2, and y equals 4. Let's proceed by drawing the lines on the Cartesian plane. this is S, x equals 1, this is R, T is y equals 2, and then Q is y equals 4. Now let's assume that this is A, this is B, C, and D. Now A has coordinates 1, 4. B has coordinates 5, 4. C has coordinates 5, 2. And D finally has coordinates 1, 2. Now you can clearly see that the 4 lines define the rectangle, and our goal is to find the area and the perimeter of this rectangle. The length of DC, which is the base, is the difference between the x-coordinates of points C and D, and therefore it will be 5 minus 1, while the height of the rectangle is the length of the segment AD, which is 4 minus 2, and this is the difference between the y-coordinates, and it equals 2. Therefore, the area will be 4 by 2, which is 8, and the perimeter will be 2 times DC plus 2 times AD, and therefore it will be 8 plus 4 equals 12. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you'd like to learn more about this topic, please let me know in the comments. Keep practicing and see you next time.